Hello YouTube, it is Friday, July 15th, 2022. It's, oh my gosh, I just forgot the time, I just looked at it too, 1:49 p.m. I just looked at the temperature too, and I'm just forgetting that. I forget whether it was I think it's 108 out today. It's hot, and I think the forecast for tomorrow is like 116. Yeah, well, there's a word for this in Phoenix, and that would be July. So, I don't know why I'm acting like it's something unusual. This is pretty normal weather for here in Phoenix in July. But dang, I just got a just got a little rock in my flip flop, like from the gravel. Oh man, that was hot. Like, ouch. Yeah. Generally speaking, I am not fond of walking in this hot weather, but sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. And I got to go get my car. Rob called a little bit ago, said the air conditioning seems to be working just great right now. Said he replaced a relay. So, kind of trying to explain to people yesterday, like, why my air conditioning wasn't working in my car. And it's like, oh God, it's probably doesn't need Freon. No, it doesn't need Freon. Oh, it probably just needs a recharge. No, it definitely doesn't need a recharge. It's like, it's something electrical. Something electrical. It's like, well, how do you know? I said, because it keeps popping a fuse. It popped a 20 amp fuse. Replaced it with a 30 amp fuse, and it popped the 30 amp fuse. I'm like, oh. And maybe people don't understand like exactly what fuses are and what they do and what the different amperages means. But basically, if you've got amperage is a measure of how much power is there, not the voltage, but how much there is. Voltage, I'm sure, is 12 volts because it's an American car. But amperage is just how much is present, and a fuse stops any amount that is in excess of that from getting through. It basically just melts the metal. There's enough metal in an enclosed space, in an enclosed container, usually plastic or glass, that when that certain amount gets reached, it melts and breaks the circuit to not allow a larger amount to just go through. Because obviously too much electricity in certain circuits will damage stuff, damage components, damage wiring. I mean, shoot, you get enough amperage, you have yourself an electrical fire. And have an electrical fire in a car near gas, you got what Detour Dan likes to refer to as a carbecue. So yeah, that's not trying to set my Saturn on fire. That would be really bad, especially considering that it's a plastic car. It would not fare well in a fire. So kind of lately been joking. People are like, oh, your car's old enough, it's kind of a classic now. I'm like, yeah, it's the last great American plastic car. Really, it is. I don't know. I was one of those persons that really liked all of Saturn's marketing and all their everything that particular brand represented of a different kind of company, a different kind of car. I mean, even though it was a GM product, Saturn was always marketed and manufactured and sold separately from everything else GM. And granted, it shares some parts with some other GM cars, but Saturn really did from the very beginning kind of operate as its own little independent thing, very much separate from GM. And from the concept of cars that were economical to drive, built with a focus on reliability and economy and efficiency, durability, and the whole plastic body thing, like that was something that some people made fun of, but it's really not possible to dent a Saturn, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, like when I was married, the SL that I had, or the Saturn SL2 I had, I absolutely loved everything about that car. And that was back when Saturn was still that was a new car. That was back when Saturn was a heavily promoted brand. And they had their own dealerships. And when I met my ex-wife, she actually was a salesperson for Saturn of Scottsdale up on like Frank Lloyd Wright and Scottsdale Road. And their dealers didn't haggle. Like Saturn's, there was a division of Toyota did the same thing, Scion. I don't think Scion exists anymore either, where there was a fixed price. Like the price on the ticket was the price you paid. There was no haggling. There was no games played over price, like other types of goods. Saturn's had a price tag on it, and that's what it was, and it was a good price. So I have no idea what my car sold for new. The one I drive now, it's an 06 Ion, and I'm forgetting exactly what year Saturn finally got shut down, but I know it wasn't too long after that. Anyway, I love my car. I really do. I was trying to explain the electrical thing. So, so the fact there's a 20 amp fuse in place means that the stuff in that circuit is not supposed to be protected from anything in excess of 20 amps. Now, Rob put a 30 amp fuse in there thinking, most of the stuff in there can probably handle an extra 10 amps and not be damaged or burst into flames or whatever. So let's see if it functions with a 30 amp fuse. Let's see if it's Let's see if it functions. Let's see if it what happens. And most of the day, I forget what day it was last week, but most of the day that I remember I ran a lot of errands. My week is kind of blurry, and the funny thing is I feel like most of this week was spent just mostly kind of venting about last week and last weekend and the weekend before with Priscilla, because things are ridiculous with her. I'm not happy, and I think I've more than reiterated that in enough videos. I'm going to try not to focus on that on this one. I did not check the bus app to see how long I got to wait until this bus shows up. But it's not like I've got different options on how I take the bus to Rob's shop. I take the 44 south to Washington Street, and then I transfer to a 32 south. That's it. That's my only options. Damn, somebody lost their bumper right here. Bush with a bumper. Somebody lost their flavored Mountain Dew as well. There's underground canals, which this part of Phoenix is very known for. I always like to, I don't know, I feel like I can feel the positive ions off the water flowing inside these. Little controlled waterfall inside. It's funny to think of it, when you see this here, but before this was city and is what it is now. This used to all be citrus fields here. This was all agricultural land in citrus fields. So, granted, you can tell from the architecture, this has been, especially the residential architecture, and for that matter, the architecture of the building I live in, that this has been residential for a long time. Not from the business architecture, there's not much original there. I mean, you got the QT, which was built within the last year or so. This Extended Stay America hotel, it's definitely within the last 20 years. And you got Arlo Apartments. I mean, that was actually built after the QT. It's just recently opened. More pack and stack luxury apartments. I heard those places are over $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom. Can't imagine spending that kind of money on rent for a small apartment. Those apartments probably have less square footage than mine does. And granted, they're a lot nicer. But then again, any apartment that doesn't have Priscilla coexisting in it is a nicer apartment just by virtue of the fact it's cleaner. Anyway, so I'm starting to digress into the Priscilla conversation. I am. So yeah, how that happens, that's just how my whack brain works. Whoa, look at this. We have a random bicycle wheel. Homeless people are leaving their bicycle parts behind. That's weird. Trying to say where I can see the bus heading southbound. I should probably make sure I got my bus pass on me. Pretty sure I do. Such a scary place to go through my cards for fear I dump them in the water. 7:25 at 4:30 p.m. Gotta remember that's when my next therapist appointment is. My appointment card in there. Found it. I've got my bus card. Hasn't even been swiped yet. Yeah, the last time I used it was the night of, well, I attempted to use it, was the night of Priscilla's birthday party, which has been a few weeks ago now. That was at the end of June. I think it was the last weekend in June. And pretty sure it was a Saturday night. Might have been a Friday night. I get them confused. Anyway, yeah, she had the birthday party at Wander Inn and didn't invite me and didn't tell me about it. And I ended up I ended up taking the bus. I did vlog as I walked north, and I took the bus to the Old Brass Rail and met Raul, whom I haven't heard from since. I really should have texted him and just let him know why I left, because it really wasn't anything to do with him. It was a situation with my phone dying and the bar and nobody else having a charger for me to plug into it. And of course, I didn't think to carry one, and it'd been a while since I'd been on foot, and so I wasn't really kind of prepared of, hey, these are the things I need to carry on me because they're not in my car. You get kind of, when I'm in my car kind of becomes my mobile office, and that's generally where things like phone chargers and phone cords are kept in case they're needed throughout the day. So yeah, I was just kind of ill-prepared for that trip. But yeah, the fare box in that bus, that was actually the last time I've taken the bus in the last month. The only time I've taken the bus in the last month. And the fare box was broken, so the driver just kind of waved me on in the bus, so the pass did not get swiped, but I expect it's going to get swiped now. I really should have checked the app to see when the heck my bus was going to show up. Kind of mad at myself for not doing that. You got to be very attentive because the bus stop is down there, but there's not really a lot of shade at the bus stop where you can stand in the shade and see the bus coming. And yeah, it's like 108 out right now, so yeah, the shade and the cool that kind of comes off the trees and the grass is a little more tolerable to stand in than the little bit of shade that is in the wrong place that's generated by that bus shelter. You know, it's kind of sad, as hot as it is here, that Phoenix doesn't have. I've seen it in other places that is nowhere near the hot climate we have here, where they have bus shelters with misters and evaporative cooling built into the bus shelters to make it more comfortable to wait for the bus. And you'd think when it, for months at a time, regularly is above 110 degrees, or, at least I should say above 105 degrees. It's not above 110 today, but it will be later. It should be later on today, and it should definitely be most of the day tomorrow. But I mean, it's well over 105, but still definitely hot enough. You think they'd have that in the bus shelters, and they just don't. But yeah, most of the bus shelters create a little shade, but in fact, I got nothing to do while I'm waiting for this bus to show up. I'm gonna go brave the sunshine and show you what I mean. Actually, it is kind of put in the shade where it needs to be, but a lot of times because of the angle of the sun and the shape of the bus shelter, it ends up putting shade at a point where it's not of any help for the person waiting for the bus. But this isn't bad. But as you can see, like it's kind of like a grill instead of a solid. So see how the sun is still shining through this. So you still got the sun. Granted, the glare is reduced a little bit. You still got the sun shining on the bus bench. So it's probably, it's not as warm as I thought it might be, but it is. It's not exactly. It's a little on the warm side. But yeah, standing right here isn't too terrible bad. Not as bad as I was thinking it might be. But yeah, it's not unusual because of the angle of the sun and the design of these bus shelters, for the sun to just be shining right in it, and the shade generated being minimal on the back side of the shelter where it's not particularly helpful, or it being just a shady spot on the sidewalk to one side or the other of the bus shelter. Gotta love people jaywalking across roads. I'm assuming she's staying at that extended stay America and walking from the QT. I guess it was just too far to walk over to the crosswalk at Oak. And again, nobody, when it's 108 outside, nobody wants to walk any farther than they have to. Oh, and I would have loved to have taken Lyft or Uber. It's not like I don't have the money for it right now, but I'm still dealing with the fact that I have no access to my phone number, and both Lyft and Uber require two-factor authentication and putting in a... Wow, I know the guy that just drove by in that obnoxiously wrapped vehicle. I think that used to belong to the owners of Castaways, who I worked for years, and they sold it to one of the cooks named Ernie. So it's probably Ernie driving by. Kind of wild. Of course, I just saw the wrap. I didn't see who was behind the wheel. Crazy. I mean, I guess not so crazy. As long as I've lived in this neighborhood, I just, and as much as I get out and am kind of a character in bars, I do see people that I know pretty much everywhere. Speaking of seeing people that I know, I don't think I mentioned it. So the other day when I did the video, and I was just kind of running some errands in the daytime, and I pulled up in front of the Circle K with the cashier that's been semi-flirty with me. The cashier, I think, was cute, and I caught her on video coming outside and trying to run the homeless people off from in front of the Circle K. And she had me write my information down for Bullock's. She was not there last night. Kind of disappointed that she wasn't. I was really hoping to see her. But, oh my God, it was crazy crowded last night at Bullock's. Oh, anyway, what I was wanting to mention about being at that Circle K that day, while I was in there, in the process of writing my information down for her, Bucky, who used to work at Castaways, and also at Gilligan's, mostly at Castaways, Bucky just randomly happened to go by. I did get his phone number and his email address. I really should contact him today at some point. Yeah, it was good seeing him. I miss him. He's a fun guy. He's entertaining, and still walking with a hell of a limp. Still saying he needs to get surgery on his knee. I don't know what the deal was with that. I know he's been trying to get that for years, and it's certainly not healing. Whatever his problem with his knee is, it makes him walk with a bad limp. It still isn't. It ain't healing on its own. And he ain't getting any younger. I think he's a little older than I am. Anyway, he was telling me that he hasn't even had a job for a while, that he made out like a bandit during COVID as far as getting like the expanded, what do you call it? The expanded unemployment. Like, I couldn't get through. I wasn't able to get any kind of unemployment whatsoever. But yeah, he said he got the extra unemployment money, and it was just like free money flowing in. And then while he was doing it, he started just buying and selling and flipping stuff online, which I've done a little bit of. I've done a tiny bit of OfferUp and quite a bit of eBay, but I haven't really been doing it at all lately. Anyway, yeah, he says he's doing OfferUp and eBay, and then he mentioned another site. I forget what it is, so I should really email him and have him send me links to his storefronts. But yeah, he said he's been going to auctions and just picking up stuff for cheap on auctions, but then even buying stuff from people on OfferUp and just turning around and flipping it on the other two sites and quadrupling his money and more. Like he had, and he's doing mostly like tools, and he had an electric lawnmower in the back of his car. He's driving a really nice car. Like, he picked up a newer, it's not like a brand new, but he's driving a newer, like, luxury Volvo sedan. So it's kind of funny seeing like a car that luxury, and then in the back he's got, now granted it's not dirty, like it's a brand new electric mower, so it's not dirty at all, and it's in a box. I mean, the box has been opened, but clearly the lawnmower's never been used. But just seeing like a lawnmower in the back of a luxury Volvo is kind of funny to me. And then, you know, a bunch of other tools. But again, these are all new tools. He's not flipping old stuff. He's flipping stuff that people bought new, and for whatever reason are trying to flip. I think I see my bus coming. It's kind of hard to tell. My distance vision is a little on the blurry side, has been for years, so I do think I see my bus coming, so I need to get my ass closer to the bus stop, because it's hard enough to get the it's been a while since I rode the bus, but when I was riding the bus for like 8 months straight, it's my experience has been it's hard enough to get these guys to stop when you're at the stop. So like, forget being near the stop and walking towards it and trying to get them to stop. But hey, on the bright side, at least there's no homeless people hanging out at this bus stop. And, not a dead dog either, because I know I got that on one of my vlogs. Came here as a freaking dead dog on the sidewalk. Oh, another fancy wrap. Yeah, I do think I'm reasonably sure I see the bus up at the next stop. I forget what that stoplight is. It's just got a 100 block number on it, as opposed to a street, because it's the entrance to. Guy on the motorcycle got himself a loud stereo, bumping some hip hop. Nice. Doesn't look like the kind of person I'd expect to be bumping hip hop, though. That's interesting. Don't recognize that song, but I'm digging it. Yeah, it's definitely my bus coming up there. Yeah, that traffic light is pretty much where Virginia Street would be if Virginia Street went through. A lot of times I look up, I think that's, in my head, that's Virginia, even though it's not. Oh, anyway, yeah, so saw Bucky, that was cool, got his info. Seems like there was something I wanted to say about Priscilla, and now I don't remember, so that's probably a good thing. She's actually stayed home all week, like she was gone Saturday night and Sunday night and all day Sunday, but she, as far as I can tell, she's stayed home nonstop, at least, you know, when I've come and gone since Monday morning. She's still there working now. Now I do have my doubts about, you know, that maybe she's going out and staying out pretty late and just making a point to come home before I show up, especially by how tired she's been in the morning, maybe. But anyway, I need to wrap this up. Here's my bus. Thanks for coming with on the walk.